new power stations every week to meet its growing demand. And it's all adding up. One agency says that China produced 6.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide in 2006. That's probably 10 times as much as the UK. It's enough for one of America's leading environmental forecasters to give the BBC his dramatic conclusion.
In terms of carbon emissions, it seems that the People's Republic of China has just recently overtaken the United States as the leading emitter of that pollutant. That's a position that the United States have held since the late 19th century.
But China's defense is simple. You have to count carbon per head, not per country. And there are more heads in China than anywhere else in the world, 1.3 billion of them. Some have lunch here at the Taishu restaurant in Beijing. This is how China likes to defend its position. The average Chinese person is responsible for just 3.5 tons of carbon a year, so we represent that here, with 1 bowl of rice. But the average Westerner is responsible for 3 times as much carbon. We represent that with 3 bowls of rice. And China's punchline is this: it's the Westerner who needs to cut down and go on a carbon diet, not the average Chinese. Mr. and Mrs. Tang, who are here for lunch of stuffed eggplant, believe the West is to blame.
Developed countries have been polluting for 100 or 200 more years than we have. I think they should take more responsibility. It's unfair to ask China to pay the price.
Because of this, China won't accept any limits on its own emissions. Here, it brings in coal from abroad. This country insists that its people have the absolute moral right to live as we do in the West, to consume as much carbon as us. So here's the final problem. If the Chinese go on to live as we do, the world may not cool down.
Here in Britain, and some chilling martyrdom tapes have been shown to a jury in the trial of the men accused of allegedly plotting to blow up transatlantic passenger jets in 2006. In one of the